What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Sugarfreetp here in the building, and we are back at it with our Pokemon Infinite Fusion Hardcore Nuzlocke. Yes, we had a tragic episode last episode. Spoiler alert, if you did not go watch the first episode will be in the description. Alright, for those who have seen it, we lost our starter. We lost our starter in the first episode, and it was actually really tragic. Matter of fact, I had a lot of sadness afterward. It was one of those really hard battles. But you know what? We're going to progress forward, move on. Our man Fuego is going to lead the charge here. He learned Rock Throw. So we're going to take our time to pick up some items that I did not know in the future I would need. So we get a few poison mushrooms. And we take our time to see if this trainer over here has anything to give us, which sometimes they give items in this game, which is actually kind of nice. So I've been really enjoying being able to go back and talk to trainers that I may or may not have gotten stuff for. Then we're gonna make our way around. Now I'll tell you, the Viridian Forest was one of crazy encounters. And this particular trainer, I just decided to rematch. It was an easy battle. We pick up some more mushrooms, just so happen to run into pairs. And now it's time that we start to really dive into what's gonna look like in the future of this game. These trainers have some of the most peculiar Pokemon. Case in point, Paisley, a Paris, and a Bonsley. So I was assuming, okay, this is probably going to be either a grass and a rock type or bug and rock type. Couldn't really tell you. So I was like, okay, maybe Ember would do something. He poisons, he goes to sleep, and now Fuego is kind of on the low end poison. I have to get him switched out soon because I don't know what's coming up next. The Ninfa comes out, and I'm like, okay, I need to switch. He could have a bug move, but Fuego may die. So I couldn't risk it. So Ninfa comes out and starts using Harden and all of these different moves like Encore. So I tried to stun spore him, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I should switch. I go into Redwood. Now Redwood could probably take any move that he has, and he puts Redwood to sleep. And I was just like, well, do I just attack? Do I try to get some damage off? There was no really good option in this situation. And then I find out that he has Absorb. So I'm like, okay, definitely got to switch. Go back into Handy. Handy's going to have to carry this. All right, he's paralyzed. He's only using Absorb so far. So what I decided to do is I'm going to try to go ahead and just tackle him down. Just try to get as much damage off. That is just going to slowly but surely just wither him away. Hopefully more and more of these paralyzes kick in, but they don't. And I get hit with Sing. The statuses, the Encore, the Sing, it just had all the things that made you want to pull your hair out. But our good old man Fuego learns Rollout. So the tech of Defense Curl and Rollout may be used soon. And then we get Lariri. This Pokemon looks really dope. At the same time, it's cursed. And it has Ember, and it is tearing up my Handy. I have to make a move. I got to switch. So I really didn't have a clue on who would do the best. So I switched out to God. Just hopefully he could take a single hit or get paralyzed. And he does. The Leech Seed starts kicking off right now, and I'm just like, okay, God, I just need you to just whittle him down. He's paralyzed. Keep getting the HP back. Just keep tackling. It'll be okay. And surely enough, the God of Beavers himself, even though he gets burned in the end, takes out a Lariri. And I was just so proud of him. And his big derpy self, he was literally, he literally helped so much in this battle. So now that we get our earnings, it's time to move on. I realize that I have to use the antidote because if Fuego dies, it's a wrap. I decided to go ahead and make a trip back to the Pokemon Center. I feel like it's very important. I don't want to include these things so you know that my Pokemon just weren't randomly healed out of anywhere. So in the future, if you feel like this is something we could just skip, let me know. But I think it's pretty helpful for the video so you guys can see exactly what we're doing. So once we get all healed up here, we got to make our way back into Viridian Forest, and I'm unsure on how well this is going to go. I'm thinking about what is it going to look like for Brock. Because his Pokemon are randomized, I don't really know what he's going to have. And honestly, there's only 2 good members on my squad. I will take some time in between to do more battles. And then I end up finding that this trainer would be willing to trade you for a Pokemon. So I was like, Ledian? But I could get a Weebat or a Catterbat. So I decided to go with Weebat because I thought, you know what? A Beedrill mixed with, you know, a Zubat probably wouldn't be too bad, right? And then we get that thing. I had to go look at it as a Brave Nature, which I don't have good words for it, guys. I think it's cursed. I think that thing is cursed, but it's okay. I traded for it, so I'll take it. We get ourselves a tiny mushroom this time, which is going to be very helpful in the future. You'll see very soon. And all of these encounters are popping up, but I just decided to skip through them. And then we get ourselves our next battle with Lena. Now she has a Cicada, which actually I think is pretty dope. I actually really like it. It has Intimidate, but it's not going to do much because Fuego is here to stay. Flame Body's kicking in, and this Fuego is literally putting in the work right now. He is showing his worth. And then we get Joltrit, which honestly the design is pretty cool. Little weird looking, but it was very enjoyable. I had a lot of fun actually seeing the moveset that this thing has, and it was actually quite strong. Gives Fuego another level, and I recognized, okay, it is time to move on finally into the new city. Now we don't get an encounter for Route 2 because, well, we've already been there, and the earlier route is Route 2. So talk to the trainers before heading off, and then we head on into going and getting our Pokemon healed up and doing a little exploration. Now I'm kind of giving a little bit of exposition beforehand, but I know that the gym's coming up. I don't know what level they're going to be. My assumption is probably like anywhere between like 11 and 13. So I decided to go to the Pokemart, buy a few items, see what I can get, see if we need some potions or anything like that. But then I realized that I also got a big mushroom earlier, which is helpful, gives us a little bit extra cash money. I sell some of the mushrooms, the poison mushrooms. I don't know what they're used for, so I sell about 10 of them. Maybe they'll be used in the future. I decide that I wanted to try to defuse the Weebat because Zubat is genuinely just better than a Weedle. And I learned the hard way that you can't do so. So we go and rematch Lena for the Cicada and just try to get a little bit more experience. I need this desperately coming up. I have no clue what I'm going to be dealing with. So there's a little bit of anxiety here for me as the person doing this. I'm just like, okay, 12 to 13, it would take me way too long to try to level up more than just 2 Pokemon at this point. And honestly, I don't know if I really want to spend the time with God. Back into the battle here. We have the Joltrit coming back out. Fuego's level 11, and I realized you could continuously fight these trainers, and I choose not to do that. I've only done it again just to get some quick leveling, and I know that it's going to be coming up soon to take on Brock. But I go back into this city, Pewter City, and I wanted to check out the motel. And one of the things they let you do is to sleep overnight. Now, I didn't know at the time that this did anything like the time, but I didn't know that it would heal you. So I talked to this gentleman right here. So if you're playing through this game, you haven't played through the game, talk to him. He'll give you a quest journal, and then you get extra quests from NPCs in the game that you would have never had. So I didn't know this. So I was like, okay, is there like people I can talk to? And there are 3 people in here who will all give you quests. And it was really important to say, okay, 3 tiny mushrooms? I could easily go back to the forest and do that, which I do in the future. He wants to see a bug evolution. I don't have anything. And then he wants a revive that was actually on a bench. So it's like, okay. You know what? I can do that right away. This is something that wouldn't be too difficult to do. You know, all I have to do is look through the city, find out where everything is, and see if there's a quick, like if you just have to go search, pick things up. That was one of the things that I did. I spent the time looking for. Then we had NPC, of course, like literally sitting in the way. I couldn't find it. So I decided to do a little bit more looking around. So if you're playing along through this on any of these benches, and you'll find out soon right here, after I see that the gym's right there, is that it can be on the bench next to this guy right here. So this is easy. He wants to see the badge after we are finished. And we head back to the hotel just to see what he will give us. He said he'll give us something cool. So let's see. We're gonna go ahead and give him a revive, and he gives us a TM called Frustration, which unfortunately will not be good for us. We don't have any Pokemon that will hate us enough to use Frustration, because if they get knocked out, they're dead. So I take my time and I finally head into the Pokemon Center and I start theory crafting. Okay. Handy and Fuego are gonna basically be the two that I'm gonna have to switch into. They both have status. I'm gonna go ahead and I only have one Orange Berry, so I decided that Fuego would be better simply because he doesn't have Leech Seed and I have nothing else to use and teach them. All right, and we finally make it into the gym. It's time to get wild. We get our fresh water, and I decide I'm gonna take on every single trainer to get as much experience and leveling up as I can, because who is going to know what's gonna happen? Then we get Chin Seed, which honestly is a really cool design. I actually like the fusion. I think that's a really good combination. I think it's water and grass, or it's water. It's either water and grass or water and steel. I kind of unsure now that I think about it. So regardless of the typing, I decided to continue on. We're going to be able to Leech Seed it and Mega Drain it down, giving us ample time to get health without any worry of any kind of crits or anything like that that would actually potentially kill our Handy. And it was an easy claps. Let's go. We get a level up 13. So I'm a little bit more confident now. Handy is definitely the star of the show right now. Then we get our Light Years boy. Anyway, we get Hanpi, a baby sword in an egg. It's so cute. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is absolutely cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I know some people may hate it, but I love it. So we go ahead and switch into Fuego, and I know that he's a steel type, so we know Ember's just going to one-shot it. We get Ninink. And things that are counter to cute is that we just have to get that off the screen, get that ugly thing off the screen. And then now it is time that we go forward with the gym. One of the things that I did not know is that you're only allowed to use as many Pokemon as the gym leader, which is actually perfect. So 2 Pokemon. So Fuego and Handy are ready, and let's get started. And we get Brock. He's looking as fierce as ever. I like the sprite that they used for him. And our first Pokemon we go against is Shroomiard. So I'm already at a disadvantage. There's just nothing that I could do here. So I decided to switch because the best option I have, of course, is Fuego. Fuego being a fire type, and Ember should wreck. If this thing is steel and grass, it should just wreck his face. Easy. And guess what? Fuego takes it home. Fuego has been a sleeper until we get Steel G. Steve Jr. I can't even say his name. He's using Confusion. And honestly, Mr. Mime and Steelix as a combo is actually really nice. So he's just using Confusion over and over again. We get him to sleep, and now the only thing that I have to do is keep him statused and just slowly whittle him down. No matter how much it goes on, we just gotta do what we have to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and Mega Drain, Leech Seed, and as he stays asleep, even though we do literally nothing, this is the best shot that we have of killing this thing. So in anticipation for him waking up and probably using confusion or something else, I switch into Fuego, but he remains asleep, and this is actually perfect. We get leech seed health, and now all I have to do is hit an Ember. He used a full heal, but Ember literally does nothing. And then he has a Oran Berry. But at this point in time, I think that in the process, there's not much he can do, so he decides to go for Tickle, which could be dangerous if I was using anything else but Ember, and he was actually using any physical moves, but he just proceeds to Tickle Fuego twice instead of Confusion, which makes me confused why he even did that. And Steve Jr. goes down as Fuego taking it out. Gym Leader Brock, kudos to you. That was easy claps, my boy. So we get our Boulder badge. And now that we get the TM for Rock Tomb, we are good to go. And then you get a premium Wonder Trade ticket, which I have no idea what it's for. Let me know in the comment section if you have any idea what it's for. And the trainers actually congratulate you on your way out, which I think is a beautiful add-on to winning the gym, because most of the time they don't actually care. So go ahead and take one last trip to the hotel, because in between I was able to get some of the mushrooms that she needs. And here is what she gives us in return: a balm mushroom, which is pretty nice. What I'll do is I'll probably sell it off screen. We'll go ahead and return on to the Pokemon Center. And this is where we will end it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. This was so great. I hope to see you on the next one.